New shows, new hosts. You're tuned into LE Radio, your online community exchange for trending news, entertainment, and sizzling interviews on various topics. We feature independent music. Get your music in rotation by emailing music@leradio.org. We talk about social issues, cultural norms, and diversity, health and welfare, fashion trends, and more. Make sure to subscribe to us at www.leradio.org for shows and times. Follow us on Facebook, IG, and Twitter at Les Elegance Radio. Be a guest on our show. Email the show at leradio.org.
You've seen them on HBO. Now witness the Punani Poets live on stage in Jessica Halter's School of Seduction. This Valentine show will satiate your mind, stimulate your body, and rock your soul with a special love potion of romance therapy, erotic prose, sexy short stories, and body poetry unleashing on stage in sexy vignettes, titillating sketches, and audacious audience role play. Laid on the perfect baby-making soundtrack by Dwayne Wiggins of Tony Tony Tone, falling in love again is as easy as ABC and 1, 2, 3. With Jessica Halter's School of Seduction. Enroll today, and you'll be on your way to your sexual greatness. Just get your tickets online at punanitickets.com and bring your lover or a very close friend for a night of sex education theater you'll not soon forget. Get your tickets online at punanitickets.com.
You're tuned into the LE Radio. Twitter at Les Elegance Radio.
Good evening. Sorry about that. I know we got off to a late start, but we are here. This is muffled. We are here. Go back to the other one. And we have a great show lined up for you tonight. Inspirational jazz artist Jerald Dunn is with us tonight. And again, we apologize for that. But for that late start that we got started. Again, I'm your host, Dawn, and I'm joined here tonight with my co-host, Brittany, and program assistant. And we hope everyone is having a beautiful, beautiful weekend. And again, don't forget, we have those Punani Poets shows coming up for Valentine's Day. Get those tickets early. Because, again, these shows will sell out. If you go to my Facebook page, I put a list up of all the cities that we plan on being in for that Valentine's Day tour. If your city is not listed and you want us to come to your city, you could call me at 872-803-5532. But again, that tour is going to kick off in February. We have Atlanta, Chicago, Florida, Gary, Indiana, Phoenix, Virginia Beach, Denver, Nashville, New Orleans, Philadelphia, Oakland, Charlotte, San Diego, New York City, and Seattle. So again, if your city is not listed, small city, whatever, if you want to book us, give me a call, 872-803-5532. You can subscribe to Hip Inc. for event updates. Text Hip Inc. to 84882. Again, that's HIPINC to 84882 to keep up with updates, upcoming events. We still need volunteers. So you can, again, give me a call, same number, 872-803-5532. For ticket info, for group rates, you can text 510-410-5055. And let's see, is there anything else, any other announcements? Again, like I said, these shows will sell out, and they will sell out fast. And let's see. Yes.
One body shot and a bio sent to the show. The show at leradio.org. And your name is written. So please send that to me as soon as possible so we can get the line up for you guys. I'm really excited to see. We have a lot of amazing models that have already sent their information, so definitely don't miss out.
And we already have 3 that have been chosen. The first one was Dandy. So welcome aboard. And we have Melissa and Sino. So again, get those bios, that one headshot and that one full body shot into. You could you can email LE Magazine at leradio.org. Again, that's LE Magazine at leradio.org. Or you can text or call 872-803-5532 if you have any questions. The photo shoot for this, for the magazine will be in Atlanta. So if you in another city and you still want to be in, you can. Just know that the show is in it's in Atlanta, and now we're not paying for you to come here. Not yet. But yeah, I'm not there yet. But if you can make your way to Atlanta, if you're in the surrounding areas, Tennessee, Charlotte, Florida, you can make it here the day of the photo shoot. Like I said, you don't have to be, or if you're in another city and you have a photographer in that other city that can do some great photos, then you can have, I can make arrangements for that photographer to do the get the photos done and just sent to me. And let's see. So tonight we have your bar's not moving.
Okay. Well, tonight we have an amazing guest with us, Mr. Dunn. He is going to be in here and we're going to serenade all you lovely ladies and gentlemen with his amazing jazz talent. So just a little bit about him. I'm not going to go too in-depth because I want him to tell you. But Mr. Dunn, Jerald Dunn, who's called the Saxman, was born in Augusta, Georgia, so Georgia represented. Introduced to music at a very young age. First started with the drums, and that started this lifelong journey with music.
So just take a moment, relax, and we'll be right back. This sounded good. Now, don't y'all go making love on us. Stay tuned in to Les Elegance Radio. Inspirational Jazz with saxophonist, neo-soul artist Jerald Dunn.
You're tuned into the LE Radio Show. Follow us on Facebook, IG, and Twitter at Les Elegance Radio.
Dag, I wasn't expecting that to be that loud. Again, you're tuned into Les Elegance Radio, and we are back with a night of inspirational jazz with saxophonist, neo-soul artist Jerald Dunn. Brittany. Your bar is not moving. Huh? Yeah, it's not. Oh, okay. Yeah, you ain't have it on. Your mic wasn't on. Because I'm like, okay, because I'm like, your mic not on. Okay. He gonna make us sound all soft. Yes, followers, that is a real man voice you're hearing.
So I want to kind of get into
doing the sax when I first got into middle school, right there in the band. As the bio said, I started drums at 5, but my passion was in band. I wanted to play drums. Okay. But unfortunately, the band director said, we don't have any more drums, so I want to introduce you to the sax. I said, I don't want to play sax. He said, well, okay, you should try this tenor sax.
Hold on. I hate to interrupt you. I hit that button, so I don't think they heard what the question was. So, Brittany, go back.
Okay. So we're going to go back to the question. So the question is, again, since music is something that's been a part of your life since your early years, like you say, reference your mother was a singer. So this is something you grew up with. So since your instrument of choice right now is the saxophone, I wanted to know what led you or what guided you to the saxophone.
My band director introduced me to the sax, and he told me this, and it was a sidebar joke. He said, son, you don't understand. He said, when you come to love the sax, he said, the ladies love the sax. And I didn't know what I had then, but if I knew then what I knew now, right. I said, oh, now I see what he's talking about. But I end up falling in love with the sax, and I end up playing all the saxes. Okay,
I was getting ready to ask that. And was it alto? Which one?
I started tenor to alto, bari, and the soprano just happened to be something that I've never tried. And when everything went left field, and we'll talk more about my life story, and that's when the soprano came in place. Okay,
excellent. So how many instruments do you play?
Well, I'm still playing drums. Actually, today, Sunday, the drummer was not there. I actually play drums. I play the congas, and I also, before there was the music, there was the voice too. Because we used to have a quartet group back home in Augusta. And we were more like a boys to men. So You can imagine that I was Mike. I was doing the monologue talk.
Right.
We used to do the Temptations in the talent show for Silent Night, and of course, I was Blue. So.
Right. Awesome. Okay, so let's get into your story, because I got to read a little bit about it, but I want to kind of introduce that to you because, like, you have an amazing journey, and reading it seems like music was kind of like helped you with healing in all aspects of it, and I really appreciate how your story played out. So could you tell us about that?
Thank you. Well, first, I'm grateful to be on the show. I'm very excited, and how it all started. Moved here at an early time. I left Augusta. I've been here in Atlanta now for about 21 years now. I was having some migraine headache issues. I think when I was going through high school, actually, when it started, I started having some blood pressure issues at the age of 17.
Wow.
So I really kind of ignored that. You're a teenager, talk to your doctors, and they tell you, hey, Mr. Dunn, you really need to get it together before you end up being on dialysis. And I didn't really take time to understand that. I had some mid blood pressures running about 150 over some numbers like that. And it didn't really get serious until I got in my early 30s. And that's when I was complaining about migraine headaches from a job. And I had a phone call from one of the doctors because it was a copay that needed to be paid. And I said, well, I'm glad you guys called because I've been having migraine headaches for the past 2 days. And they said, we need to get you in, do some blood work and do blood pressure. The first number they took, it was 280 over 160, and they had to retake it again. It got as high as 300 over 170.
Oh my gosh, that's high. Like I'm surprised that you
I didn't even know I could get that high.
Me either.
Right.
Like wow.
Right. So that coming in, they did some blood work. They came back in. The doctor said, Mr. Dunn, we're gonna have to tell you this. Your blood pressure was so high, it literally destroyed your kidneys. I know you don't want to hear this, but you're going to have emergency surgery, and we're going to have to put you on dialysis, or you won't live to see your children.
Oh, wow.
She said, now, from a doctor to a friend, she said, I could let you walk out of my office, but we need to get this done. She said, if I let you walk out of this office and you go home, you would have went to bed for 2 days and you would have never woke up, because high blood pressure for African Americans are silent deadly killers.
Right.
So I had to initially get that blood pressure under control by having emergency surgery. And in the midst of the surgery, the red blood cells and the white blood cells was attacking each other, and they was trying to shut me completely out of here.
Oh my gosh. See, that's why it's important for everybody, especially in the Black community, to get tested and go to your annual physicals and everything, because it's very important. Wow.
So with that being said, I came out of surgery and had to go back in. So matter of fact, dialysis started in the Fresenius Medical Center. Matter of fact, on Valentine's Day, it was I remember those dates very well. February the 14th, 2000, when I started doing my first treatment up there. So to back up a little bit, while I was going through, my mother was going through in Augusta. My mother was suffering with her second stroke. So mother and son were going through sickness at the same time. My mother was in the hospital in Augusta at a rehab with her second stroke. I was in Cobb Hospital fighting for my life,
right,
with a blood pressure 300 over 170 at 32.
Wow, 32.
32 years of age.
Right. Like, that's not that far. That's crazy.
Right.
And you don't know what caused the high blood pressure? Just came out of nowhere?
Hypertension. Let me bring that in for all the listeners. Men and women, when you going through so much in your life, and we have a lot of stress. See, a lot of men, I'm going to talk to the men, a lot of men don't know how to release stress. That was one of my biggest factors, because I tend to hold a lot of stuff in because I was so stressful, the family, the arguments and stuff. And when you don't have an outlet, that stuff stays on. You have to find something to keep you positive. And I didn't know how to let go of the stress, and it festered, and and they kept switching me on different meds. I was seeing a regular family doctor and a specialist. They kept switching me on different meds, and the meds were not stable, and they just got out of whack. And I had to start my dialysis, so I did hemodialysis from 2000 to 2006. So I was on dialysis for 6 years of my life. 6 years.
And usually people are not on dialysis that long, from my understanding.
Well, I've had some friends of mine now that's still on dialysis now for 18. The most that they can do for you is up to the least max amount, about 25 years. 25 years. Until your body can't take it anymore.
Got it.
So in the midst of that, dialysis started, and in 2001, there was a mass on my right kidney, and didn't know what was going on while I was on dialysis, and we had to do an ultrasound, and they found out, because no one else, even my father who's deceased, it was cancer. And I was very shocked to find out it was cancer. But the thing about it, the cancer sat on top of the right kidney. It never spread it through my body. That mass on my kidney was 8 centimeters, about the size of like a huge ball was sitting there.
Wow.
And they had to immediately move that mass off the right kidney. So I had to lose the right kidney in 2001. July 2002, saw my mother one weekend, had my kids up in Tennessee. I came back, didn't hear from my mom. And I was working for this company during the time I was going through this dialysis treatment. And the next time I went to my mom's house, because I didn't know everything that was happening to my mom, but she ended up transcending when I couldn't get a response for her. Had to have the emergency people to come in and do an emergency breakthrough. My mom was on the couch, and they said that she had passed. My mom was preparing her Sunday meal for her last time, and one of my aunts told me that she called her, and she didn't say anything, and she hung up. But I found out that my mom actually passed Saturday night. I didn't find her until Monday night.
Wow.
At home.
She lived by herself? She
lived by herself. My mom passed at the age of 57, so she was very young at that age. So my mom passed in 2002. My left kidney came out in 2004. Matter of fact, I remember that time, and just a little sidebar. I was just waking up out of recovery when that incident on the Super Bowl by Justin Timberlake and Janet Jackson. I just woke up and I just missed that opportunity.
You just missed the opportunity.
I missed the whole. I said, "What did I miss? Did I miss something?" So, but that's what happened. The right kidney, the right kidney in 2001, the left kidney in 2004. I was working for this laboratory company in Smyrna for about 5 years, and during the midst of that 5 years, I had my first house with my kids with their mom. It was real rough dealing with that. So when my mom passed away and I got sick and I really couldn't come to work like I was supposed to, but I had a good balance. I would do dialysis Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and then go to my house after that fact. But I ended up losing the job. December the 1st, 2005, I was terminated because there was a liability here, and everybody asked the question, well, can you bring up a lawsuit up here? But in Georgia, it's very hard to try to pursue a lawsuit here when you're in Georgia because, Georgia's one of those states, so it's a liability.
Yeah, it's very
but I told the people that terminated me, I said, you know what? I said, somehow, somewhere, I know God is going to actually bless me and give me a kidney transplant. So they laughed about that. Moving forward.
That was cruel.
Yeah. I was working with these little guys, and I hope they're out listening. I had a little neo soul group when I was going through my sickness. The jazz group we were called Connected. I met this drummer named Khalil and my keyboard player. We've been friends for 17 years. James Walker, if you're listening. Connected, we were one of those groups we used to play at a coffee shop, and I would just do dialysis treatment and do all the things that I would do, and I kept a positive attitude, and I would share my testimony at that time.
Wow. So from all of that, music was always there, like stayed and worked through that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that is the thing, especially men that hold on to stress and everything like that. Guys, you got to get checked out. I done lost uncles, great-grandfather, everything, because they never went to the hospital, just kept everything and then get checked out.
Yeah, men not too quick to go to the hospital.
No, women, we go. Like, if it's something little, we're going. But, man, you guys, especially our black Kings, like, y'all have to go. We need you. So please go and get checked out. Please. So that's exciting. So tell us about the group. So is the group still a part? Like, you're still part of the group now? Or?
Well, actually, the keyboard player is here. My drummer is a surgical tech. He's been traveling a lot. Mm-hmm. We've been in connection when he gets his next opportunity when he comes home. We're talking about doing a connected reunion. Now, I'm going to share something with you that you guys didn't know in this group, and I'll pull up a picture. This is the group when we were at the Barnes and Nobles up here, and there was James. Now, there are two sisters in that picture. Mm-hmm. Megan, I don't know Megan's last name, but the girl that wrote the movie for the girls' road trip, Tracy Oliver, was also in a group. I got a chance to meet Tracy Oliver before she became where she's at today. Uh-oh. So you remember when MySpace was out? My drummer discovered and they say, hey, we need a band to do backup, to play our music. And I say, hey, we got you. And those girls came from Columbia, South Carolina, and Connected is still part of that. My keyboard player now, James Walker, we still consider ourselves a part of Connected because when I'm not at my own home, I'm always networking and playing for him. But we're waiting on Khalil to come back so we can get the girls, Tracy and Megan, so we can go back and do our reunion. We're really praying for the 2018 because we were doing, that's where the neo soul actually came in, and we would do things from Aretha, from all of this, for Ribbon in the Sky. So that was the fun part. We gave a little bit of the neo soul and the inspiration. We did have to, you do have to give the Lord credit in the midst of everything. You know, we love music. I'm not taking away from any type of music, but you got to give credit where credit is due, and he gets all the credit first. Give him credit first, and then you go into the other stuff there.
Exactly.
All right.
But to make this short, if I can, the thing about the 06 came around after being terminated in 05. I met a stranger who desired to play the sax and didn't have the money. He was going for a second kidney transplant. His name was Don Hicks, and haven't been in contact with Don for a very long time. But the minute I released that instrument to him at the end of November, at 12:54 a.m., December the 1st, 2006, I got a call from University of Alabama. And anytime you have cancer in both kidneys, they have to delay you for 2 years per each kidney. So they did that. They called me, and I said, you guys calling me. It was 12:54. I remember everybody remember those Bell South caller ID boxes, and that's
you
why.
Go tell our age
Yeah,
again.
you know. But that's what the thing was, and they called me, and I thought, I didn't know why they was asking me questions. They asked me for my date of birth, my Social Security, and the reason why they was calling, because they said you've been going through so much in your life, but we're here to call you to let you know that we found a possible match for you.
Wow.
And this was, I thought it was a joke at first. I said, who calls someone at almost 1 o'clock in the morning, your time, to telling them they found a match? And people told me that you'll get those calls around the strangest time in the morning. And they told me, they said, when is your next dialysis treatment? I said, well, in about 4 hours. You're not going to need that. Did you pack a bag? I said, no, you need to go and move and get here quickly to Birmingham, Alabama, so we can do one last dialysis treatment and test you to do checks, x-rays, and blood work to see if this kidney is going to be a match. And long story moving forward, and the next day I woke up, I was there. Well, it wasn't the next morning. It's probably some hours, and they scheduled me for the surgery for my transplant. And it's the ironic, the time frame I got fired in 05 is the time I went in for my surgery a year later.
Wow.
So this month, this first of this month now, I'm celebrating 11 years of my kidney transplant.
Nice.
So, and then on December the 24th, after being in the hospital for 3 weeks, I walked right into church on Christmas Eve. So between December the 1st and the 24th, this month is always important to me. And I'm always going back when I have my personal time. I go to the centers. I do a lot of charity thing. I do give back some of my time. Everything is not always about bookings. I do give back my time to charities and help them out. And for the past 2 years, I've been doing some Christmas jazz for Dairy Queen.
Nice.
And I'm just grateful. Anytime I have two young ladies now that's on my social media page now that are waiting for a kidney transplant. So they call me their big brother.
Right.
And that's Sherry and Deanna, if you guys are listening out there. So those ladies are waiting for a kidney transplant. So they need someone like myself. So you can't tell anybody how to come out of a situation if you've never been through it.
Exactly. So that's awesome. Well, we definitely are going to send one up for those two ladies so that they get their phone call at 1:00 in the morning from a hospital saying that they're ready. So definitely going to keep that positive energy out there for them. So, all right. So I want to get into some of the music that you brought for us.
Well, actually, it's that's not the. We're gonna do a different mix when we go in the studio, but that's something that's the instrumental that I found that I've been and actually playing that. So I have that set and queued up already while we were talking. So I set it back to.
Set it so I could play it.
Right. So if you give me a moment.
I think I messed with it because that's saying
Luther
Vandross. That's showing Luther. I ain't mess with it.
But I want to send a shout out to my family and all my classmates that may be listening on this radio show, and I truly thank a lot of you for your prayers and your love and your support. I found that outlet that when I go through some things in life that I can look to not only to the source, which is our Savior, our God, but the instrument, and it has a way of releasing strongholds. And even on my job on Fridays in Fulton County, my county manager is so blessed to meet him for the past 2 years. Allow me to do Love and Inspiration Jazz every Friday for a full hour at my job. There are people coming in paying their taxes, and I'm just out there. I'm not asking anything for them. I'm doing it because I love it, because it's a passion in my heart. So if you guys give me a moment, we'll cue this up, and I'll get my instrument, and then we can just go into that.
We're going to cue this up. So we, hold on a second. So you're going to play with this that I'm queuing up? Yes. Is it supposed to be like that, and all I got to do is hit play? Did I mess up? I'm just hitting play, right? That's what it looked like when I touched it. Yeah. We going to go live and do a little live video. That's a different phone. You got a different phone?
No, it's the same one.
All you have to do is touch the play, but it's on pause right now.
I'm okay. I ain't gonna touch nothing. I'm not gonna touch anything.
Please don't touch nothing.
I'm not gonna touch nothing. So let's see.
So while we're getting this queued up, you guys, I just want to again thank you so much for listening. We've had this is show number 7 now, 7, 8. Those house mixes, those shows, I'm be in my life every morning listening to the house music. Yeah, so shout out to everybody who's showing that. Yes. And then also everybody who's listening to our past hosts, of course, the amazing Royce Hall, Tajir S. Hawkins.
Yeah, don't forget that S.
The S. Hawkins. And just everybody who's come through the studio. Like, it's amazing. So we're going to get this queued up for you. Some live music.
And don't forget about the thing. I'm about to go live on a video for second. This is a night of jazz. He's just in the back getting all queued up to play for us. Y'all hear that? That sound good.
Yes.
Oh yes, that sound good.
Yeah.
Nice. Night of jazz.
That's
yeah,
right.
Y'all ready? Y'all ready?
You gotta be ready.
Let me get the little live. Let me get the live going. A night of we are live. A night of jazz with John Sharon. Okay. Here we go.
All right. So again,
here we go. Let me click this live, and then I'm gonna hand this phone over to Brittany.
Yes.
So that she can. I hope it don't echo back. It shouldn't echo back.
No.
Start the live. Wait, I think you might have to turn it around. I think I got that live turned on the wrong side.
No, you got it.
I got it right.
Yeah, we got it right.
Yeah.
Or here we can.
Or we could. Y'all could just. You'll
Are you
keep that
sure?
one? You sure? Okay. You'll play. Because well, you finna play. I could actually come over there and lift it up for you. You want me to lift it up? You'll be good.
All right,
Okay.
if you guys are paying attention to A Night of Jazz with LE Radio, this is the amazing.
They can't hear you because you ain't nowhere near that mic. The people.
Where's the mic?
No, not the mic on there. I'm talking because we still
Oh,
on the radio.
I'm doing the live thing. So
You doing
again,
the live thing. You talking
everyone,
to the mic.
I'm talking to the live. My bad, you guys. So as I was saying, so one more time, this is A Night of Jazz with LE Radio. This is the amazing Mr. Jerald Dunn going to give us the sax man, going to give us some just musical libations tonight.
We ready.
All right.
Oh, wait. Yeah, oh, yeah, that's right. That's him right there.
Okay, so we're going to get this queued up.
You ready? When we ready, whenever you ready.
Thank you, LA Radio and Miss Brittany. This is a song that's been on my heart many times when I was going through my sickness, and I was a big Yolanda Adams fan. So Open My Heart is actually the song. We're going to actually do it a different way when things come out on the project, but we'll talk more about that later. So when she cues me in, and I'll just go from...
You ready.
Oh,
it's
you gotta
cute.
play it.
Oh, Dad. I'm all lost because I'm sitting up here getting all excited. Okay. Okay, I'm cueing it in. There we go. You know you got me over here about to cry. That was amazing. Oh my God, that was amazing, and that's one of my favorite songs too. Let me see that before you turn that off, because I know you got to get back in that mic so they can hear you. That was amazing.
You know, one of the things in the testimony, when I lost my first kidney, there was an atheist doctor that came to me. He asked me, did I have a hobby? And I said, I did. He told me, because once one of my kidneys was removed, they did it the tradition way. They cut from one side all the way back, that I would never play or hold a note to the level where I would play. And see, you can't listen to that kind of report. You have to play from your heart. And that song meant a lot to me. So you know when the sound is coming out, you're thinking about the goodness and greatness, and you can't let man tell you what you can and what you cannot do. Never allow anyone to steal your joy, your love, and your peace. The only way you'll do that if you give it to them. And I refuse to do that. So that song meant a whole lot to me. And I just want to tell you, Miss Brittany, and the host of LE Radio, thank you so much for allowing me to be here. I'm just very honored. It's almost like I wanted to.
Shoot, that was an honor for us.
You know, so.
Okay, we got front row seat, man.
Yeah,
You had me over here about to be in tears. That man.
Might want to do a Kurt Franklin Christmas song or something. Now I might want to do another one on here. I mean, I might as well live, but I stay in my lane.
God said differently.
Yeah,
exactly. That's why he's sitting here and playing like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh my God, I'm sitting here like, did you want to tune up something else? We got time, because I usually play, I'm usually playing music, but tonight is all about jazz, and so I'm just gonna run with the jazz all night tonight, people. This is for the grown and sexy. Oh, look at me putting that down. This is for the, let's see, I'm finna try to flip this and see. I don't even know, let me see. Let's see. Okay, we are live, LE Radio. So you could, y'all looking at me on the live, make sure y'all download that app, the radio app, in the Google Play Store. We'll be featured on some. You want to hear more? Yeah, he's tuning up. He's gonna play some more. Give him a second. He tuning up to play some more. You know that last one he had me over here almost in tears. I love me some Yolanda Adams.
Somebody want me to play some more?
They want you to play some more.
This is one of my favorite songs, that when Kurt Franklin did something, Why We Sing. You know, that was from his first album. And so this was another song that I actually fell in love with that one. So it's already queued up.
Yeah,
and
Why We Sing. Okay, I'm going to pass
this. Yeah, so I love that song up there. So, I mean, I could.
It's already queued. So look, all I gotta do is just hit play.
Just hit play.
Okay.
Make sure there's some volume on that one as well too.
Make sure there's some volume on that one.
Give me a little water here. So.
Give him a little water there. Keep that throat nice and wet. Nice and wet. So okay. You sure you? Oh yeah, you was good with that. Okay, Yep. Your mouth ain't up there. Ain't nobody hearing you say nothing.
Gosh. Hello?
Your mic
all right,
on.
all right.
I guess that's why they wasn't hearing.
I know, right? Okay, so again, we got the joy again, Mr. Dunn. For those of you who are just tuning in, this is Mr. Jerald Dunn, the sax man, giving us some
inspiration.
Yes, and some jazz on LE Radio. So please enjoy.
There we go. Amazing.
Yeah, I'm so excited. Everybody is just peace and blessings. Yes, on this live and everything like that. All these hearts. That's awesome.
Okay, we're going to get ready to get back into this interview.
Yes.
Interview. Thanks for tuning in to our live.
Yes.
Our live.
Wow.
There he go, the inspirational jazz man.
Yes.
Sweating all my hair out, you know.
Sweat your hair off. That's okay. Wow. Okay. I'm just kind of speechless a little bit, like, from that music, like.
They say his testimony is in his horn. Yes, it is.
Yes.
Here's a second part of a testimony that was not on the in the magazine. Now, this was something a little different after the transplant. For those that know about dialysis patient, once you receive a transplant, the shunt that they place in your arm, whether if it's arterial or artificial graft, normally would just clot off. I had my shunt placed in my arm for 13 years. Normally when you have a transplant, it would automatically just clot off and you don't need the access. For some reason, mine didn't clot off. It kept growing. And it got into an early stage of an aneurysm. So about 4 years ago, the surgeon that put it in was very reluctant of who I allowed to operate. You know, and everybody have their own saying, you know, I want to have the surgery. You just don't have the surgery right away. You have to be concerned. You have to be connected to someone. And after all the doctors, they came up, they said, well, you don't want this person to do it. Who else do you have? I said, well, who else do you have? They said, we know a doctor by the name Dr. Hefner. I said, well, yeah, I know him. I said, he's the one that put it in. So we haven't saw each other in about 13 years. And first thing he asked me and my sweetie, when we got to the holding area before they got ready to start surgery, he said, Mr. Dunn, this is what we're going to do. I know you're a little concerned about the vein because it's a huge, large vein. He said, but I wanted to ask you these words. He said, do you believe in the power of prayer? Now, this doctor was not a brother's doctor. It doesn't matter what color he was. He believed in the power of prayer. So when he prayed the prayer, he said, God, this is your servant. And the thing about this one, this is just one of the instruments that I have on the card. I have a baby soprano sax, and it's about as tiny as this one here. I didn't bring that one in there because that pitch is actually higher than the one that I have. So I had a total of, I think I had about 30-something metal staples in my arm, and I could not play the straight sax, not too much right after surgery. I know one of my I went to a funeral and I couldn't play the straight one, so I was able to play the baby soprano curve. But then that was in September, about 4 years ago. And then I thought I was complaining about what is called like a blood clot. It wasn't a blood clot because I was complaining about that. So October went by, then everything was fine. I wasn't concerned. It came back again, so I called back and they took me in. And when they did an ultrasound, it was not a blood clot. It was a blood leak.
Oh,
What's a blood leak?
Blood leak is a blood leak where the artery where it was blood that was leaking out of the artery from the first thing up there. And I thought normally with a blood clot, you could take a warm cloth or something, a thinner or something like that. And from the first surgery in the same area. So they had to go back in that same arm 2 days before Thanksgiving.
Wow.
And they said since it was a little knot on the arm, they said, well, this surgery that we have to do for this one, it's not going to take no more than 30 minutes. Right. Well, that 30-minute surgery ended up being 6 hours.
Wow.
But they repaired the leak in my arm for the vein, and then they had to put an artificial graft as a pulse in my arm, but a total of probably about 80 staples in this arm, but I refused to not stop playing.
Right.
It never affected the playing, so I played the other instruments because I have an alto too at home as well.
Right.
But I played the other instruments since they were more curved. I didn't have to extend my arm like I do with the soprano. So until the staples was moving, it's like I've never lost a beat. And this is why my faith is strong, and I can't let anybody tell me what I can and what I cannot do.
Right.
Because there was power in the blessing, there was power in the prayer, and I thank God for putting me in the circle of people that have the lives that I've touched. And I've lost some friends that was on dialysis, but every minute I get when I have a day off or a holiday, I try to go by the dialysis center. Just found out recently that the lady that took care of me was the charge nurse. She finally retired. So, but I still go by there by being an example. And my dialysis nurse, if you're listening out there, Miss Lindsay, I shared the link with her. She's always in tears when I share my testimony. It's amazing that you can have a nurse will talk to you to a center you used to dialyze, will allow you to come in and talk to the new patients and what they're expecting, and how if they're compliant by doing their dialysis treatment and stay truthful by dialyzing, that their opportunity for a transplant is available. So I want to tell all the listeners out there, if you are a donor, I know people always question, well, what's going to happen when you're not going to feel a thing when you leave this earth. If you're out there and you know you can save someone's life, be a donor. I was a little hesitant about it until I went through the things up there. So if anything should happen for me, God forbid, use whatever organ you have for me in order to save someone's life. Now, I didn't know the young lady who died in a car accident when I received her transplant. But about 4 years later, I found out that she was a mother and she had 3 children. Her mother finally wrote to me and told me that you're carrying my daughter's kidney. Wow. And this is a blessing to me now, because here's another thing that you guys didn't know. Most cadavers, I received mine from a deceased person. Most kidneys last a long time, from a living donor. But the report from what most doctors say, when you have a cadaver kidney, normally they last anywhere from 8 to 10 years. But let me share this with you while I'm live. It's not about the years and stuff up there that last 8 to 10 years. It's how you take care of yourself, and it's how you live your life. See, it's a difference in the 8 to 10 years. You can just be that. As long as you're positive, not being around stressful people, you have to be around positive. You have to encourage yourself. Right. So going on 11 years, because I was a little concerned because I have to go to Birmingham to UAB once a year. And when I was declared, and I forgot to tell you about the other story, being cancer free, right. Cancer in both kidneys. Last year, February the 17th, I was declared 15-year cancer free from losing both kidneys. So this year, I'm 16 year. So February the 17th of 2018, it'll be 17-year cancer free from kidney cancer. So when you've been seeing a cancer doctor for 14 years of your life, and he gives you a piece of paper said, don't ever come back, you're set free. That's what you have to do for your life. Right. So 32 to 39, I went through all my sickness and I got my transplant at 39. Now I look young, but we'll keep it there. Yeah. But you know what? I'm grateful. I just celebrated a birthday in October. So my mother and my aunt, one of the aunts that passed away, our birthdays were close, October the 4th, October the 5th. And the ironic thing, when they put me back on the list, they put me back on the transplant list on my mother's birthday. Wow. In 2006. And mine's is a week apart from hers. And after that time, after giving a saxophone to a stranger, didn't ask for any money. When I blessed Dunn and when I went home, the phone called, and that's how I got my transplant. That's awesome. I was so busy worrying about everybody else that when I stopped thinking about it, that's when my call came. So I encourage those, that family members that may be going through some dialysis days, I urge you to find out if you're a match. There are several things that you can do to do that. If you at a certain point in your life, the doctors tell you what you can and what you cannot do. But when somebody is trying to give you a kidney, they can't be sick. They can't be with a cold and everything. So many things that probably at the next segment, we'll probably be able to talk about that. But I'm just so grateful to come here to play for you guys and also share a part of my life. And I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the good Lord that kept me here to keep doing this. So. Absolutely.
Amazing. Y'all heard him here on LE Radio.
Right.
And y'all going to see him in February, because I'm getting you for the 18th.
Yeah.
We'll make it the 17th. That'll be the 17th year cancer free. So.
All right.
February 17th?
February the 17th will be 17 years cancer free 2018.
Nice, yeah.
But I want to give a shout out to, I know the sister's probably not out there, but for those that actually, this is actually her magazine, Sister Evangeline. She's the editor of the Shiro magazine. This is her picture here, and she did the first one here. So this is my first time being in her magazine. It says miracles still do happen.
Right.
And she sent me the other copy. So I'm waiting to, I've been talking with a publisher. I'm waiting to hear back with him so we can get the rough draft. We're praying for next year to have that released. It's probably be more like an ebook, do something small, go into the stores, go to Atlanta Live and appear on their show and talk to the people about the book, about the miracles, that miracles are still possible. It's just, you got a lot of people, you got to believe. You got to believe that if he did it for me, he'll do it for you. But that key word that you got to have some faith.
Yes.
Now, that's a hard thing. I was just talking about them Sunday. Where are some people we believe, but we have a problem with learning to wait.
Yes.
Waiting.
Yes, we live in a microwave society.
I mean, I tell you, we want it right then and right now, but I'm thankful for waiting for a while. So when that endurance came in, you know how you want this toy. I'm using that as when a kid want this toy so bad and don't know with the family. When they finally get it, you learn how to appreciate it is. And that's what life is. When you learn to receive something that you've been waiting for, whether it's health or whatever, you have to learn how to appreciate life. You only get one life in this lifetime. So do what you have to do while you're still here. So, and that's it. And I think that's part of my testimony. I probably talk so much. I don't want to take over the show.
Good. You are good.
Love it.
Usually when we've been doing the shows, we've just been focusing on whoever the guest is.
Right.
Oh, wow.
We've just been totally focusing on the guest,
Yep,
on our show. So you, by all means, is not doing too much talking.
No.
Oh, also, for bookings, everybody, I'm on Facebook as Jerald Dunn. I'm on Instagram as J Dunn for jazz. I post a lot of things on there. Then I have a like page, Jerald the Sax Band Dunn. That is my like page. And I also have a like page, A Journey Back to Life, from Sickness to Healing. I think when that becomes with the ebook and stuff, I will load everything more on the like page because I want people to go there and do that. And hopefully when everything is here, that I can come back here. Definitely. And maybe we can. Well, this is here's what I'm believing for this radio show, and this is live. I'm believing that everything that's going to be in this point is going to be that you're going to have everything that you need. That we'll be able to have that moment going into 2018. I don't know if that's. I haven't asked you about this, but I'm just believing from my heart that you'll be able to take calls. That there's some other people that I can bring in. That some lives will be touched or some things that you've been going through that might need to be broken. So a lot of people out there hurting.
Yes, it is.
A lot of people are hurting and they're keeping that stuff in. And I'm just telling you from the man, if you're holding some stuff in, whether it's past relationships or marriages, learn how to find an outlet or source. You know that God is your source, but you don't know what to do. Some people just don't understand. You have to go to these things in prayer. You have to find an outlet. If it's after the prayer, go to the gym, go boxing, go walking, listening to some music, maybe going to see a massage therapist or just sit in your room or yoga, meditation. Right, yes. Meditation is the key. So yes. when I'm going through so much with the children and the family at home, and I need that moment. So when I'm out playing like I was playing here, while I'm closing my eyes, because I'm thinking of a happy place. That's what gets me to that point, because I'm not looking at you or Brittany here. When I'm playing and my eyes are closed, I'm thinking I'm somewhere on the beach in Dubai, Hawaii. You have to think outside the box, So that's the best way I know how to do it. So, but I'm available and I'm doing some weddings and everything. As of right now, I'm jumping to January. December the 12th is open to the public. I played for the Renaissance right over there by the new Brave Stadium. I played for their Valentine's jazz at the Tosca Bar inside the Renaissance. But December the 12th, I'll be there doing some Christmas jazz. I'm trying to wait back to hear from Publix and Walmart. So this is something that I'm giving back my time. Of course, they do the honorariums and stuff like that. So for those that are on Facebook, follow me. I'll post a lot of my events where I'll be performing. I do a lot of weddings, church events. I've actually done some house events as well, too. I've actually played in people's home for housewarming when they move into their house and stuff up there. I've actually done weddings in the house and stuff up here.
Playhouse.
So I played at a cafe and stuff up there. So, but I'm anything you do, I played for many funerals here in Atlanta. I've done a lot of stuff for Willie Watson. Pretty much I play for every funeral home here in Atlanta. But I'm just grateful to allow me to share my personal life with you live on radio, because had it not been for the Lord, I would not be sitting here today. So he gave me a second opportunity, and I said I was going to do something with my life. So when my birthday went to turn last year and the year before that, people said, what are you going to do on your birthday? Are you going to turn up? I said, I can't do that as well. I said, but here's the thing. I told them I'm going to live.
Right.
That's even better.
I'm going to get rid of the negativity. That's my turn up for me. I'm going to get rid of the haters. I appreciate them haters, because see, them haters are my motivators.
All right.
So
same here.
Yeah.
Same here.
So I came up with this thing: the more they hate, the more God elevates. So that was that was one of my quotes, and I put
you
something,
heard it here first.
I put something on. I put something on my page
I
early.
Saw it.
And I don't know if anybody that saw it besides
I saw it.
And it was something
I liked
there.
it. Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah, so I put something on there. So it was just so great.
Y'all hear that? You have to take care of yourself first. Depression
and
is
the
real.
post that I put today said, I was told to always embrace my haters, because it means you must be doing something right in your life. And I put one of my pictures from my second daughter's wedding, and I had my peace sign up. So when you know that you're doing all you can, why they're hating? Because you got to be doing something good.
Right.
So the
they
more
try
they
to
hate,
distract you.
that's why I keep playing. They get mad at me, I play even harder.
Right.
I tell them to get out of here. Yeah.
You're tuned in to LE Radio, and I'm your host, Don, and I'm joined with my co-host and program assistant, Brittany, Lady Poetry, and we have the amazing, inspirational neo-soul artist, jazz player, saxophonist, Jerald Dunn. Almost had me over here in tears, y'all. Y'all know I'm sensitive.
Right.
Y'all know I'm sensitive.
I'm sitting over here singing under my breath, trying
I'm
not
over here
to blow.
like, oh my God,
Yes.
it's just amazing, amazing. Let me see. Make sure y'all follow us too on Facebook.
You're tuned into the LE Radio Show. Follow us on Facebook, IG, and Twitter at Les Elegance Radio.
Yes, please follow us. And you can also find Mr. Jerald Dunn information will also be available on LE Radio. Oh, I dropped my mic. I just realized I got a dent right there. You'll also be able to get the information, because the shows are listed on our website, www.leradio.org. Please download the app if you have not already done so. It's in the Google Play Store. You could spell it out, Les Elegance Radio, or abbreviate capital L dot capital E dot radio, and just look for the blue and white Les Elegance logo on top of label. Logo, where is a label? It's a brand. Yeah, just you can't miss it. It's all over my page. And again, if you out there and you want to model with us, make sure you get that one headshot in and that one full body shot in your bio to LE Magazine at leradio.org. If you have music, please submit your music. Again, I have gotten a lot of music. Some of it I cannot play because it is degrading to our women. Again, no music that is referring to our black women or any woman of any nationality as a bitch. WHORE or HOE, and yes, I'm spelling them out. But please send in clean versions of the music. I'm loving the beats. I understand where you're going with some of this, but we have to try to do it without degrading our women. I was reading in one of the groups today, a young lady said that on one of her posts, and the films went in on her. She literally made a post saying she tired of these BITCHs, and you saw it.
Yeah, I saw that. Oh my
I
God.
was like,
they laid into her. I was like, oh.
like, why don't you just delete this post already?
Right.
So again, I'm loving the music. Got a lot of new music. We're gonna get into that music probably later on the next show. I may do a pre-recorded show to get that music out. But again, people, when you send me the music, make sure it is clean. I do take the time to listen to it. We will listen to the music because I've gotten caught off guard before where I didn't listen. I just took for granted that the music was clean and was planning and had to stop it in the middle of a show because it was very degrading to our women. So you could say what you want to say, but just try to do it in a respectful way. You know, we all been heartbroken, but we don't have to say the bee broke our heart.
Right.
we could do it in a nice, clean way. So those who sent the email back requesting nice, clean music, hopefully you'll have some clean music. You know, I did have one artist tell me she didn't have anything clean. So that's sad, but you should always have a clean version of something, and that's why a lot of our independent artists, it's kind of hard for you to break into the mainstream,
right? Because you definitely need radio edits of everything
need radio edits. So, and we are going to get ready, and not today, but again, for those who keep asking about my no chasers are coming back. They coming back.
Yay. I'm excited.
They coming back. I got a list of them. So for those people who've been sending in the no chasers, trust me, I have not forgot about you. I posted one yesterday. It was the one I was asked if
the sexless.
Yes, if you could be in a sexless relationship. And that question, when they was asking that question, it wasn't talking about medical illness, because we know in relationships and in life, as you get older, illness comes. So it wasn't referring to that. It was basically referring to somebody who is kind of misleading and misguiding in their relationship, and then they get in this relationship. It's nothing medically or physically wrong with them. They're just choosing not to engage sexually with their partner, and then they expect their partner to just accept that and go along with it. And the comments, let me see, I'm go to this right quick, but that was one of the no chasers, and I just had posted it on my wall. Me personally, if you ain't having sex, that's basically just a friendship. That is, it's a friendship. when you cut that off and there's nothing medically wrong with you, it's a friendship. And Brittany, I know you want to say something, so I'm gonna give you the mic.
I'm not. Okay, so check this out. Yeah, like that's a friendship. Well, I understand, again, medically. However, there are people who are asexual, who are not, you know what I'm saying, that's not something that they want to have. However, if you're asexual, you need to be with another asexual person or by yourself. Do not mislead and get in and with this relationship and then make the other person feel weird because they want to share that intimate space with you and you don't allow them.
Right.
So, you know, I just, communication to me is communication. If that's something that you're not interested in, you need to tell people up front. That way that people don't get upset and everything else, and then you don't look crazy. So, but as far as my answer, absolutely not. I couldn't. But, you know, that's just me. It's just me. But
yeah, no. I couldn't do it either. But again, some people that are asexual for some reason, they are able in the beginning to pretend like they have an interest to capture your interest, and they feel that once they get you, then in the middle of that relationship or whatever, they got you mentally or emotionally, that you'll be okay with it. Right. And that's not okay. You have to be upfront and honest with in everything. The beginning if you are a asexual person, because it does exist. I've met people that is totally asexual. And then they have been in relationships with people, and they'll start off like they okay, and then they'll come with these excuses. Oh, I got a low sex drive. Oh, this is going on and that's going on. And that's not the case. They just was not honest up front. And again, communication is the key. You have to let people know your expectations in the beginning. Just let them know, and don't take away their options. Like with me, the worst thing you could do, even if I love you, I'll walk away. Because the worst thing you could do is take away my options. Give me the option to say if I want to be in a asexual relationship or not. Don't just take it for granted like, oh, once you, and it don't even have to do with asexual. It's like other things. If it's certain things that you just don't like, you still, or certain expectation and certain things that you want going into a relationship, you have to be upfront and honest with people. Even before you move in, you have to have conversations. And a lot of times, because we be so in love in the beginning, we overlook red flags. Sometimes people give us the signs and they tell us, but we overlook it. We overlook it because we so into that honeymoon.
That's the rose-colored glasses.
Right, we're in that honeymoon phase. Then that honeymoon phase go off, and then you
and
be
then
realizing like, what the hell did I get?
Wake up one day and like, who are you and why am I with you? Like, you know what I'm saying? And that's, again, communication, and be who you are. Like, understand that everybody has somebody. There's somebody out there, be it whatever you want to call it, twin flame, soulmate, or whatever. And just because this person doesn't, maybe you don't need to be with that person. And that's okay. Don't just lie because you don't want to be by yourself. Energy is brought into your life for a reason. So if that's you, be authentically you, and you will find someone that does the same. That's
right,
it.
just like unapologetically you, because that's me. And I'm going to tell you up front what my do's and my don'ts. I'm a talker, and a lot of times people always say cancers, we emotional and we whiners, and it's not that. It's with a cancer, you going to know exactly where you stand with us. We may be emotional, and it may be a downfall because some people can't deal with it, but at the same time, it's a good thing because you will always know how we feel, where we stand with you, what our expectations is, what we do and do not like, and what we are willing to accept and what we not. We give you options. We're going to tell you, because I'm going to tell you, this is how I am. So you either going to accept it, and we're going to work through this, and that's fine, but don't misguide me or mislead me because I'm not going to do that to you. And that's it. And we had this gentleman sitting here shaking his head. So you want to chime in on this, Mr. Jerald? You want to chime in? Because you just shaking your head.
Yeah, I'm actually in the agreement with all of that, and it takes two in this, regardless of what your partner is going through. Communication is the key. If you don't have communication, you guys in the world of trouble. Absolutely. Just like you plant a garden, you got to water it and nurture it and everything. Just like relationship, you don't nurture it, you don't take care of the responsibilities like a plant. Things will wither away. You don't take care of the responsibilities in that, and that's what happens in life and people's minds, and they feel unwanted because there's nothing, and it takes two to tangle in this. You guys knew when you guys were adults when you got into this thing up here. So don't, like radio host said, don't get into the point, the honeymoon and everything. And after the honeymoon, you go back to your ways and stuff up there. Just like it took you to do everything you do to get that person. You got to keep that fire going. You got to keep that relationship going. There's no ifs, ands about it. Well, I have a headache of this, that. Okay, I understand, but you got to sit down together and say the reason why I haven't been able to do this or that is X, Y, Z, and just be upfront and be real. And then that makes why people may not want to get into certain relationships. A lot of people want, because they're not about the games. Right. If you're out about the games, just tell the person up front what's going on. If you're not, then like you said, if it's not to the point of friend, we'll just leave.
It's bye-bye. You can't mislead. Okay, I'm going to read a couple of these comments. They're kind of funny, though. Jennifer Retz commented and said, most of the men I marry are gay and in the closet. I'll totally be fine without the sex, and the marriage will be open for him to sleep with all the men he wanted. I really like an arrangement like that. I am so disgusted with straight men. I rarely crave sex anymore. And I'm not really understanding that comment. I
know what she was saying. So basically, because she doesn't desire sex or intercourse with men or whatever, she is what's considered a beard. So she'll marry a gay man so that they can present in a heterosexual normative or whatever, and just have that open relationship so he can do whatever he wants to do. Okay. But yeah, so she's basically a glorified beard. So yeah.
Okay, and then we have a Michelle Daniel. She said, I've been in a relationship that was sexless for a brief time, only because I was attracted to everything about her except the sex. Of course, it didn't last long, but if the sex It's bad. I can't fake it. Compatibility is a must. That's another thing, people. Another thing. People stay with people for the wrong reasons. If you know this person is not sexually satisfying you, do not cheat on them and stay with them for financial reasons. Do not do it. That is wrong on so many levels.
Don't do that. But to her point is just basically you can be attracted to somebody and be connected to an individual and not have to go that extra mile to do the intimacy. Like my best friend and I, we were connected on so many different levels, but never on that intimate level because we just never went there. But we still had an amazing friendship and everything else. And it didn't have to get weird. Like we just literally like that. So you don't always have to sleep with somebody just because you like a lot of things about them.
True. Okay, and another comment is, yes, this is Annette Brandt. She said, yes, I could and I have. There are many people who have been in long-term relationships who don't have sex and has not killed them or their love. So her and I went back a little bit, back and forth, because I said, oh, yeah, they having sex, just not with each other. Because sometimes you get people who have been together and they've been together for those 15 years and they have so much established with each other, they choose to stay together because they have a lot of financial obligation with each other.
Right.
And their sex life and desire is gone, but then they'll have like a side chick, and women good for it. I'm not too sure about the men, but my straight female friends, women are good at having a whole nother household that the man don't even know about. Right, but they'll stay with this person because they have all these obligations to them financially, but then they'll have a boyfriend and have this other, well, I know women are mistress, so what our man's a manstress?
No, I think he's just I don't know what he is.
What is he?
I don't know. He's
that's
just
a good
a
question.
gigolo, baby. I have no idea. Like,
but they'll have a whole boyfriend for like 10 years and still
have
be
to
married.
research that for the next show.
Yeah, we definitely gonna have to research that. So we just went back and forth on that because sometimes, again, people stay in relationships for the wrong reasons. You know, communication. They stay in there for the wrong reason, and then they keep this person on the side, keep saying they're gonna leave their husband or their wife, and they not leaving because they ain't been together for 15 years. That's pretty much it. Mostly everybody was saying no. It was a couple of people that was did say that they was asexual, and there was a couple of people who did say that they were not asexual, but they could do it. And then Cookie Hughes pointed out a good question, and her question was basically, if you're in this relationship and it's sexless, do you still require intimacy and cuddling? Do you still want that connection with that person?
Well, I think you can because I think intimacy is on very different levels. So there is, of course, intercourse, sex, but I mean, a different level of intimacy would be like the cuddling, the holding, the spending quality time. So I think it's possible, but again, it goes back to the two people involved. And if that's something communicated and you're both okay with, then I think it's possible. Again, not for me, but I think it's possible. It's definitely possible.
It's not possible for me, but that was the no
But
chasing.
my thing is, because both that were active at the time, and then all of a sudden the other person just stopped, then that makes you question, like, okay, well, what in the world's going on? You've been all this point until the time when they came up to the dating before it came to that point. So, and like Miss Brittany said, unless it's something medical or something like that, but you find ways to do whatever it takes, if it's holding or whatever the case is up there, but don't just stop or don't just say anything to the person or just saying, no, I don't want to be bothered and stuff. And you're like, in your mind, you're like, what in the world is going on?
Right.
Did I miss something?
It's bad. And it's, women, we do this because sometimes we have that period where we'll like withhold because we're mad about something. So we're like, no, don't touch me or whatever, something like that. So
that's true.
Because I've done that too. And it lasted quite a bit of time because that person didn't communicate with me. And honestly, had they communicated with me and opened up, and we would discuss why I no longer desired them, we probably would have made it. But because they didn't and let it go, and I was just like, you know what, I'm good, it fizzled off. So I actually ended up being in a sexless relationship. It turned into one. And I ultimately but that was because mentally I lost respect for them. There was a lot of factors that came into that. So ladies, don't do that. Talk, please, because I learned my lesson from that because I was young when I did that. So communicate. If something is wrong, speak on it and say something. Because some people will lose desire just because there's something wrong. They're mad or they feel a certain way about something totally unrelated to the sex part of it. But because we as women, we're emotional.
Right.
If my head is not right, the last thing I'm thinking about is sleeping with you.
Right. And yeah, because withholding it can damage a relationship. For some reason, sometimes females think if they withhold the sex, that'll get their partner to do what they want to do. And sometimes it don't work like that. Like you said, sometimes it kills the relationship because now the partner is sitting there like, okay, you're not attracted to me no more. What's going on? Because you rejecting them. Right. And people deal with rejection different ways. Somebody might try to wind it down and figure out like what's going on. Right. And then like you said, some people won't ask the question. You just stop and then they start losing interest and then you find interest again. Cause I was in a situation like that some years ago, dating a young lady and we kept going back and forth and then, she called herself doing that to me and I'm definitely a intimate, affectionate type person. Right. And she'll do it and it'll go for like 2 months. Then she'll be okay. Then she'll do it again. And then it was just like, look, I'm not going to keep going back and forth. So when she came back and now she wanted to be affectionate with me, I was no longer interested in her. Because you start blocking yourself. You start putting up your walls. You start pushing them away. And a lot of times people don't realize that you could push a person away. And not just sexually, just being distant. If you just start being emotionally distant with a person and you're in a relationship with them, you're not really talking to them. They don't know what's wrong. You keep saying nothing's wrong, but something is wrong and you're not communicating to them. But that happened with her and I. So, because I had to think about that when I posted that because I was like, I ain't never been in a sexless relationship. But I have because we ended up being friends. But like those last, I want to say maybe 3-4 years, we did not sleep together. It was just like, it was cool. I was fine. I let her do what she did. Then she called herself go out there and cheat. And it didn't matter to me, she did it so it could get back to me. That. But when I found out, like, she went and she slept with this guy, and I guess that was supposed to piss me off. And I was just like, I was just like, okay. Then she came up with this story where I just wanted the baby and all this. And I was like, I really don't care why you slept with him.
Whoa, where'd the baby come from?
I really don't care. Like, my interest and my attraction was like gone. But I was honest, and after that year, I let her know. Like, and like I said, I'm an upfront person. I said to her, I don't know what's going on with you, but I'm losing interest in you. My feelings for you is fading. So whatever is going on, we need to have a conversation. She kind of flicked me off. And I said, okay, I tried to talk to her again. She flicked me off. So then by the time I no longer had any interest, now she wants to show interest. But at that point, she let it go too long. Right. And I didn't care. And then the worst thing you could do with me is if you go and involve another person and think that's going to make me jealous, it don't work. It don't work. It does not work with me because we are in a relationship. I understand you might have dated guys, girls, whomever before me. You had a life before me. I understand all that. But my only concern is what you're doing while we together. Right. So if we are together and you choose to give yourself sexually intimately, share that space and open up your body to someone else, I'm done. Right. That's like a deal breaker for me. I am done. And I'm going to tell y'all this story real quick. I was in a 10-year relationship, but the person that I was with, she cheated. She cheated somewhere around the 6.5. It was about the 6-year point. So we was both in the military. And I said to her, because we kept getting separated, I said, do you want to have an open relationship? Because I don't know. She was in one station. I was stationed somewhere else. I put in to swap and go there, but they said that swap could take up to a year because you have to find somebody else in the military that wanted to come where I was, and then I wanted to go where she was. So it was just so we didn't know how long that was going to take. So I gave her the option to have an open relationship. She didn't want to have an open relationship. Damn Gemini. She turned down.
Hey now.
She turned down the open relationship. So I was like, are you sure? She was like, yeah. So she went to where she was stationed and I was stationed where I was stationed at. But we were seeing each other every weekend. The way it was set up. I would go there, she would come there. So we seen each other every weekend. So then, when I went, one of the times I went, I don't know, some felt didn't feel right. So I always go with my gut. I asked again. It was like 3 months in. I asked again, are you sure you don't want this open relationship? Nah. Why? You want somebody else? You think I'm finna let you go, woo, and all this? I mean, made a big stink about it. I said, okay, cool. Didn't do it. Lo and behold, about 2 weeks later, I get the okay saying I'm going to be able to go there within 60 days. So I'm all excited, like, yeah. So I tell her, now all of a sudden, she don't seem so excited. I was like, yeah, my papers came through. I should be there in like 60 days to, 2-3 months. I'll be there. And yes, son, if you listening, I know y'all going to talk about me with the 60 days and not saying 2 months. But anyway, so I get the papers. So, and I never forget, it was she stopped. The following month was my birthday. It was an R. Kelly concert. And so I was supposed to go there to this R. Kelly concert, but she told me she had to go to the field, and she wasn't gonna she was gonna sell the R. Kelly concert tickets. So I'm like, okay, cool. I ain't even think nothing about it. So I get there. So the young lady, Paula, the young lady she cheated with, when I met the young lady, I instantly just was like, okay, this is old girl, because the girl they kept, you'll see them on the side, their conversations, their body language, everything was just like, okay. So people that knew me down there was coming to me trying to tell me, but I'm like this: if I'm in a relationship with you, I'm gonna have your back and I'm gonna believe you. I'm gonna come to you. I'm gonna have a conversation. People could tell me stuff, but I'm gonna come to you and I'm gonna have a conversation with you. Right. About whatever the situation is, because I'm not sleeping with them. I'm going to come to you because I expect you to be honest and upfront with me and tell me the truth. Right. So I went to her and I told her how I felt. I told her what my thoughts was and everything. And I asked her, did you have some type of affair with this young lady? She said no. I said, did you have an affair with this young lady? She was like, no. I said, are you sure? She was like, yeah. I said, well, I'm going to tell you this. I'm not going to listen to them. I'm going to trust that you telling me the truth. But I guarantee you, I don't care if it's 25, 30, 50 years from now, we could be old on the porch, gumming some bananas with no teeth, all of that. If I find out that you lied to me, I'm going to leave you. 3 years later in Arizona, one of our other friends having a retirement party. So we out in Arizona at this retirement party. She get to drinking her little drink and everything. They all get to talking about cheating and relationships. Me and my best friend, we standing there, me and Charles, we standing behind there, we cooking. They over there talking about forgiveness and relationships and everything. And then one of my friends was like, yeah, my girl left me. Dang. She said, I didn't do nothing with old girl, but I should have, just like that. And then they mentioned to her, they was like, yeah, and I'm still trying to figure out how the hell you got that little cancer to forgive you, because they not very forgiving people. Them must be going in. And then she was like, oh, well, sometimes when people love each other, they just work through things. And then the other friend was looking, and I forget exactly what else she said, but the other friend was like, I know why they still together, because she ain't never tell her. So then they was like, you ain't tell her. And then she was like, she got the stuttering. So then they was like, so she don't know. And then she was like, nah, why we got to start saying, like, why we got to talk about this now? That was 3 years ago. Even if she did find out now, that was 3 years ago. We fine. I'm looking, I said, Charles, did she just say what I think she said? Wow. Did she just admit to cheating? And he was like, yeah, she said that was 3 years ago. So I went in the room. I had a Jeep. I went in the room. I packed everything that I could fit inside that Jeep, left enough room for him to sit in the front, told him, I need you to pack a bag. And he's like, where you going? I said, I'm going to Chicago. And he was like, are you serious? I said, yeah, I'm leaving. So he went, he got his bag. I was telling everybody, bye and hugging them. They was like, where you going? I was like, to Chicago. And she looking like, Chicago? I was like, yeah, I'm going to Chicago. And she was like, what you going to Chicago for? I said, what did I tell you 3 years ago? If I found out that you cheated and you lied about it, I was going to leave you. I said, I meant that. I've been sleeping with you for 3 years with this lie. No, I've been sleeping with the enemy for 3 damn years.
Wow,
like, what
that's
else
a
did
long
you?
time to hold on to something.
What else could you have lied about?
Right.
And it could have went on some more years had she not been drinking, because people get to drink and they get loose lips,
Right.
and they get comfortable.
Right.
So yeah, I packed my shit and I left, and I never went back, and I didn't see her again till like maybe 7 years later. I changed my number, everything, everything.
That's serious.
Yes, it was that serious for me.
Yeah.
So again, don't take away my options.
No.
Do not take away my options at all. Give me the choice. And I loved her. So had she been honest at that time, we probably could have worked through it. But because she lied, it was a wrap for me.
Yeah, yeah.
It was a wrap.
Yeah.
So that's that about that story. But again, you all was tuned in to LE Radio.
Yes.
I'm your host, Don, joined by Brittany, my program assistant. If you want to be on the show, make sure you email her the show at leradio.org. We did get some emails, and I know Brittany is really good at responding back to them. We're going to start back booking people after the holiday.
And
back
the
in
show
January.
will be later.
Yeah, and we're gonna after the holiday we're gonna move the show back as well an hour to probably like 6 o'clock, because we know people getting out of church, having dinner and all that. So we're gonna move it back, because I know there's a lot of people don't start tuning in to closer to the 6 o'clock hour.
Right.
So starting in January, we are gonna have a new time, still on Sundays, just gonna move it back about an hour. So, again, we appreciate everybody for tuning in to the radio. We're going to go ahead on and let Jerald give his information one more time before we close out.
Listeners, thank you so much for allowing me. Don't adjust your volume. This is the real voice. This is something. This is something that I'm not making up. But again, my name is Jerald Dunn with a J, Jerald Dunn. Jerald Dunn. You can find me on Facebook. Instagram, J Dunn for Jazz. To book me, you can go to my email, thesaxman, 4, the letter U, @gmail.com. My contact number is on there as well, 404-246-8286. I'm also going to be launching, looking forward to this. I've found a new person who's going to, I'll probably be on Facebook, but not as much now. I'll be creating a website. So a lot of my stuff going into the 2018, when people want to go through bookings, they'll just go to the site and actually go there. But for the time being, you can reach out to me. I tell a lot of people, just email me. A lot of people try to send stuff through the messenger, which I don't like to communicate too much to the messenger. I like to do business and I like to do it the right way. So just email me, and email me in enough advance notice when you guys trying to do something. I've had people to try to call me at the last minute. Now, I don't have a problem with last minute, but there is the calls for the last minute of the inconvenience and stuff. I will come, but at the point. But I'm truly grateful for you, Brittany, and I'm very excited for my first time coming on LE Radio. And actually, my classmate, while I was here, he sent me a message that he was listening. He actually enjoyed it. So he's going to be tuning in. So what he's going to do, all my classmates that live out in this area, now he's going to tell others. It's like that domino effect. So for those that are listening, please listen in to the show. Hopefully that I will be able to come back and it'll just be a little talk. And we're going to probably see if I could get my keyboard played, and we're going to do maybe some jazz. Oh, wow. See,
you play the keyboard?
I play piano and violin. So,
Okay, well,
next time you come, we might need
my co-host been holding out on me. And before we get out of here, let me quickly tell y'all how I got Mr. Jerald. I was driving Cobb County, and I see him every morning going to work. And he had that little black case, and I'm like, and I just started talking like, what you got up in there? What you play?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So we definitely said something.
So yeah, if we see you out, if I see you out somewhere and you look like you got some talent, I'm a very friendly person. I know some people say I'm look standoffish or mean, but I'm not. I'm very approachable people, very friendly. So if you see me out somewhere, don't be afraid to speak, because if I see you walking around with an instrument or you look like you sing, dance, hop over a wall or something, I'm gonna invite you to the show.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
So Brittany, you have anything to say before we close out?
Just thank everybody for listening again. Thank you again, Mr. Dunn, for coming in. We
It's
are
a
absolutely
pleasure.
going to have you back, especially next year when you do the album and the book, because we definitely have to promo that for you.
Even though this is not in in the radio show. But this show, as a little funny sidetrack, this show was brought to you by Sprite. Sprite, obey your thirst, drink Sprite. You know,
we need to get the Sprite checks.
I can come on and do the weather, and do some infomercials, do some commercial talk. Ricky does this thing, but Jerald like to do his own thing. So you never know what I might do in the upcoming. I would like to come aboard. When you're on radio, you want to have fun. Be you. Don't be anybody else but yourself.
Exactly.
You'll have yourself a great time when you're not trying to pretend to be someone else.
Right,
Absolutely.
and that's why they want my no chasers to come back. 'Cause
Yeah.
on the other shows,
wow.
yeah, we had some no chasers, and the no chasers, I was trying to wait because last time I want to make sure my phone line is up and very clear
Right.
for the no chasers. So that is why I've been holding out. But I promise y'all, in January, the no chaser will be back. Y'all know. It took me a minute, and like he said, I had faith because I was on the radio. I had moved to Chicago, was on the radio. Then I had relocated back to Atlanta, and I had been off for like 2 years, and it took me a minute to get everything back set up because, again, I was reaching out to different people to help me set up stuff who was just not willing to help. And these people have radio shows, and they was just, when I asked them a question, they just act like they didn't have the answer. So I Googled some stuff, read some books, figured it out, and got my own little setup. So the phone line part, I'm still working on. Like, I have it where it's hooked up, but it's not clear enough for me. So, again, that no chaser will be back. That no chaser will be back in January. So we appreciate you for tuning in. And again, make sure you get those Punani Poets Valentine's Day tour tickets.
Hurry up and get them.
Early.
Up.
Because this show will sell out. And for those who is just listening to Jerald, I'm booking him for February 18th, so don't try to book him for the 18th.
All right.
That's the Lake City show.
So you got a sneak peek.
Yeah, you got a sneak
of the
peek.
Lake City show.
So don't book him. I'm letting y'all know already. He's going to be booked for February 18th. 2018.
Right.
18, not 27. We're going into a new season.
We're going into a new season.
Right,
people.
right.
But again, we appreciate you tuning in, and everybody have a beautiful night.
Yes.
This radio podcast is brought to you by HIP INC, an educational-based nonprofit arts collective where creative minds come together, share, and create art. You can become a member, donate, and sponsor by going to www.hipinc.org. Like them on Facebook at The Hip Team and on IG at HIP_INC.